Hello, 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 everybody. It's your girl Kamisha Tyler, aka Sarathea I Am, and we're going to come out of the book of Genesis, and we're going to start at chapter 9, verse 22, and it reads, "And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brothers outside. But Shem, Ham, and Japheth took a garment, laid it on both their shoulders, and went backward, and covered the nakedness of their father. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father's nakedness. So Noah awoke from his wine, and knew what his younger son had done to him. Then he said, Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants. He shall be to his brethren. A servant of servants he shall be to his brethren. And he said, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, Abraham's blessing, and may he dwell in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant." So let's break these down. Okay, so first we're going to start with this is after the flood, and we're talking about the people who populated the earth or the land. Okay, so Canaan in the text, the narrative, is talking about the original blacks. Okay, this is actually talking about black people. Okay, he wasn't cursed by God, he was cursed by Noah, a family member, who said, I will not look at you the same for this manner. Because you have done this, I will not see you the same. And then he began to say that he was going to blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem. Now, Shem in the narrative represents the Hebrew biologic. So what does that mean? You hear me talk a lot about the complexities of things. So, it's giving you a biologic of how God was going to utilize his original thought and move it through his people. Okay, so Canaan represented the blacker race, or what you would call the original black Hebrews. Because remember, now there's Canaan also with the Cain, who are the ones who was had a mark placed upon them, and that was the gradual deletion or deleting away of the melanin for killing a brother. And these were your pale skinned people, okay, cursed, given the choice to abide in God's way or continue in their leper sickness. And then Shem, the Hebrew biologic, okay. And then he says, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. Okay? So now he's saying, let Canaan serve the biologic of this Lord. Okay? Shem. May the black people serve this Lord, this God, this biologic, this way of this original thought. And may Canaan be his servant. And may God enlarge Japheth. And what is Japheth? The narrative is Japheth brings in the Abrahamic blessing. Okay, this is where you'll see Ishmael. But what did he say? He says, may God enlarge Japheth, right? And may he dwell in the tents of Shem. So although God enlarged him and made him somebody, just like he told Ishmael he would do when Abraham thought that God was talking about him, of the covenant, the covenant that Noah made, it said that may he dwell in the tents of Shem. Okay, in the tents of Shem. What is Shem? The Hebrew biologic. And may Canaan be his servant. Okay, so now we're going to go into the descendants of who is who. Okay, Genesis chapter 10. Now this is the genealogy of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Okay, so now we're talking about the people of these groups. It says, verse 2, the son of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tyrus. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Ripeth, and Togarmah. The sons of Javan were Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim. From these the coastland peoples of the Gentiles were separated into their lands. The coastland peoples of the Gentiles were separated into their lands, everyone according to his language, according to their families, into their nations. Okay? Coastland peoples, remember that. Gentiles, remember that. So then verse 6. The sons of Ham were Cush, who we say is Sudan, and Mizraim. The narrative of Mizraim is Egypt. And if you look at it on the map, Sudan and Egypt are they not close to the coastland in Africa? Okay. Now it says Put and Canaan. The sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. Okay, so Canaan, the dark-skinned people, the blacks, come from the tribe, or will come from Ham. Okay, the sons of Cush. Now, what is Cush? Sudan, Beersheba, Havilah, Sabta, Ramah, and Septaka. And the sons of Ramah were Sheba and Dedan. Now we're going back to Cush. And it said this is where Cush begot Nimrod and all those things, but I want to get to the place of, you guys can look that part up. I want to get to the place before my phone started acting up. So we're going to go down to verse 13, and we're talking about Mizraim. Okay, Mizraim, Egypt. And it talks about Ludim, Anamim, Lahabim, Naphtuhim, Pathrusim, and Kalsuhim, right? It says, from whom came the Philistines and Caphtorium. So Egypt. It says the Philistines came from them. And the Philistines, this is why when you go back up, it says from Ham came the Gentiles, okay, that were separated amongst the coastland. Okay, so Philistines, their god is Baal, the five lords. They do not serve the God of the Hebrews, right? They placed themselves in Abrahamic fathership. Their God, it says, the Philistines came from them. Now we're going to go to verse 15, and it says, Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth. Okay, Canaan begot Sidon and his firstborn Heth. If you have studied any of the Egyptian alphabet, it'll tell you who Heth is. You'll find that it basically, because I just want to get it out, it talks about it's the righteous spirit of things. Okay, so Philistines worshiped the Baal. Heth represented the spirit of God, that was the righteous spirit of God, the upright spirit. Okay, so in this breakdown thing here, you'll see God beginning to bring about a lighter skinned people. Okay, let's see what else I want to say. Let's go to there was something else I wanted to point out. Oh, okay, let's go down to let's read 17. Well, actually, let's start at 15. It says, Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn, and Heth, the Jebusite, the Amorite, and the Girgashite, the Hivite, the Archite, and the Sinite, the Arvadite, and the Zemarite, and the Hamathite. Okay, so afterward, the families of the Canaanites were dispersed. So why do we have Hamathite? How does Canaan have a Hamathite? Right? The narrative is that it's making the difference or the differentiation between the original Canaan, a Canaan, who were the blacks, and the Canaan of Cainaan, who was the marked um, unmelanated folks, or your whites, or your Hebrews, the Gentiles, or the Philistines, all these things. But the confusion comes on who are the Egyptians, right? Mizraim. Let's read verse 18. The Arvathite, read that. Okay, so afterwards the family of the Canaanites were dispersed, and the borders of the Canaanites was from Sidon as you go from Gerar as far as Gaza. Then as you go towards Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, so Mizraim, when you go back up and you notice that he is from who did I say? Japheth, right? Japheth is the Abrahamic blessing. This is where Ishmael comes from. And God said, or when you read the story of Ishmael or Hagar, when Abraham went into relationship or interracial relationship with Hagar, or an Egyptian or a Hispanic, Latina, God made an Abrahamic covenant. This is where the circumcision comes in. Okay? So you have to ask yourself, if God had already made the covenant with Noah, why did he then need to go back and make this another covenant with Abraham? Right? We say it was his faith. Let me read that for you real quick so there's no confusion. See if I can find it before the phone cut off. Okay, let's go to Genesis 17. It says, when Abraham was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to Abram and said to him, I, Almighty God, walk before me and be blameless, and I will make my covenant between me and you. Okay? Then you go up to where he started changing Abram's name to Abraham. And then in verse 7, Genesis chapter 17, verse 7, he says, I will establish my covenant between me and you and your descendants after you in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be God to you and your descendants after you. Now we know the story of Abram and Sarah, where he thought that God was talking about he was going to make the covenant with Ishmael. And God said, no, that's not who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the same covenant that I'm going to have with you, but you're my chosen people, that I'm going to have with Egypt, or with Hagar, or with Ishmael, or with your Latinos, and Puerto Ricans. So on that note, when they were called Hebrew, it was because there was a loyalty. There was things they had to do to prove their loyalty. But now, as we're in modern day, now you begin to see their fall away. It says that they originally were of the Philistines. Okay? They began to pledge to white supremacy. They stopped pledging to you, black folks. They stopped being loyal to us, Afro-Negro American folks. They said, my skin makes me pale enough to rock with Cain, Cain. All right? So, if y'all want to call them the Hebrews, then you want to call them the Hebrews. But I think I said on the feed before, God has said, what God has put together, let no man put asunder. And the same applies for what God has separated, let no